And I look at us like brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. I look at us as all part of the same community. I believe, especially in America, I look at us as all part of the American family. And because I look at us like that, sometimes when people talk to me and they say, "Well, why should I share? Why should I be generous? Why should I think selflessly? Why should I give of my excess to someone else who is in need when they're not working as hard as I'm working?" And to those people, I usually don't know what to say to those people because I've seen so many videos online that have gone viral of a family, and typically you've probably seen these videos. There have been videos of a mother and a father, or like a mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter. There's a child involved, and then there's parents involved. And maybe I'll put a link in this part of the video, but essentially what happens is the child is sitting at the counter and they decide to reveal or open up or uncover some sort of treat. And in that instance, when the child sees that he has or she has two cookies or two pastries or two candies, or the child realizes that they have abundance and their parent doesn't have any. And when the child sees the look on the parent's face, you can tell like something is calculating, something doesn't feel right. And sometimes the child will express displeasure, emotional displeasure, or emotional disruption. But sometimes the child will act immediately without even feeling emotional displeasure. And sometimes the child will act by sharing whatever it is that they have with their parent. And I always thought how curious that is, because um, sometimes, I've met so many people who don't believe that you should be generous, that don't believe that you should give of your excess, that you don't that you shouldn't share with other people. But I think about the child that shares right away, and I think, why would that child share with their parent? And the easy answer to say, well, the parent has done so much for the child. The parent loves the child and the child loves the parent. So when the child sees that the parent doesn't have something and the parent is feeling upset, then the child does something to correct the situation. They'll try to share. And I think about that empathy that it takes for that child to share. I think about the generosity that it takes, the type of character, the type of soul, the type of heart that makes that child want to share with their parent when their parent doesn't have something. And when I take a step back and I look at the entire situation, I see that as a child that understands that that child is part of a family. And because the child knows that they're part of a family, they're willing to share of their excess, even though it means that they're going to have less resources, they'll have less cookies, less brownies, less whatever it is, less treats, because they're part of the family, because they're part of a loving family, because they feel like they belong to a community, a group. They would rather go without so that someone that they love would not have to go without. They would rather make the sacrifice, even as a child. Some people are like six, some children are like 6, 7, however many years old. Sometimes those children have already made the calculation. They didn't even have to see the parent, but the people who do see the parent and they feel an emotional distress, they have decided that they would rather go without extra treats so that their parent or someone in their community doesn't have to feel like they don't have any. And if a child can exhibit that type of behavior, that type of generosity, and if a child can understand that type of fairness, if a child can understand that when someone in their community or someone in their family is hurting, then they're also hurting. If a child can learn how to share, then what does that say about the people who are adults? Couldn't we also learn how to share? Couldn't we also form those bonds that make us feel like we're part of a community? Couldn't we also make people feel safe being in our presence? Couldn't we also create a safe space for people to feel vulnerable? Couldn't we also Couldn't we also create an environment that would allow people to feel comfortable being selfless? Couldn't we also create a community where people don't feel like you're going to just take advantage of them and take advantage of their generosity and take and give nothing back? I believe that we can. I believe that not only I believe that this is not something that just happens in a child's upbringing. I believe that it is something that we can instill in people. I believe it is something that we can develop. I believe it is something that we can train. I believe it is something that we can exercise. I believe that we can create a community. We can create a situation, an organization that can promote these values. I believe the values of integrity, the values of selflessness. I believe that uh, the values of pursuing excellence in everything that you do. I believe that we can create an organization to promote these values so that we can create a community where everyone will feel safe and where everyone can experience prosperity and live in harmony. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing. That's something that gets me out of the bed in the morning. That's something that makes me feel alive.